Hello, Romans here and welcome to another music review. I review every album from a viewpoint of a musician, as I'm a singer, songwriter and a bass player for my own group H.E.A.T and we have released our debut album called Pursuits in Life. What makes it unique is that it's a heavy prog rock without guitars. Instead you have drums, bass, saxophone and keyboards. You can check out 2 of our music videos on my YouTube channel. We're building our own monument and Fake the New Kind of Beauty, and also a studio live take of A Way to a Pose. In the description of all these videos you will find all the information about where is the record available. It's available on all digital platforms like Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, iTunes, Amazon, Bandcamp, but also in this digipack version of a CD with a very beautifully illustrated 20 pages long booklet. So in case you want one, all you need to do is contact me via email, on Facebook, on Instagram, or you can get one through Bandcamp. And today I'm going to review the new album from H.E.A.T, H.E.A.T II.
Music review. Music review.
If you watch my reviews, there are 2 things you'd know about me. First of all, I really love the 80s. That's my favorite decade, and all of those AOR, hard rock, glam rock records, they're just among the best music ever. But you also know that I'm usually trying to avoid newer bands, and by newer I mean in like last 10 to 15 years, trying to play this music, because all these bands like Crazy Licks, Reckless Love or Eclipse, they have like 1 or 2 good songs per album and the rest is just forgettable, and it's pretty much recycled patterns and progressions that I've heard so many times with the original artists from the 80s. But H.E.A.T are actually an exception, and this is their 6th album, and none of the albums they've released so far are bad. They're actually all freaking brilliant. And I made a review for their previous album, their 5th record, Into the Great Unknown, in 2017, and this album saw them experimenting very little, I do have to emphasize very little, so they modernized their sound a little bit, but there was such a hugely negative backlash from the fans. I remember that H.E.A.T were relatively enthusiastic about that record when it came out, but at that point it just seemed that it was like popular to hate them. On all of their videos for that album, fans were just hating them. I mean, shame on you. These fans, I mean, I understand when somebody doesn't like something, but you are stupid assholes. I mean, this resulted in H.E.A.T changing the perspective of that album. I read some interview a couple of months ago and they were like, yeah, Into the Great Unknown wasn't such a success and we weren't really that good with that album, but we're getting back with the new one. I mean, that album was an essential H.E.A.T record. It was pretty much what we've been accustomed to so far, just a little modernized maybe. So I was just so pissed. Anyway, the new album came out more than a week ago. It's freaking brilliant. I love this album. I love it. I've heard it 8 times as of now. Let's dive right into the review. The album opens up with the track Ocular Body, which is this classical 80s party rock, arena rock song, kind of reminiscent of the tracks like Let It Rock or Lay Your Hands on Me from Bon Jovi. Dangerous Ground is a song I can imagine playing in a car while driving really fast. It's a great hard rock song with excellent chorus.
Running on dangerous, dangerous ground. I'm bound to cross the red line. Dangerous, dangerous ground. Here I am, I'm taking you down.
Come Clean is almost like a European melodic metal track with a very catchy and poppy chorus. Victory is a more serious track. I like that it adds some variety to the record and it has a big chorus with excellent chants.
For the ultimate win, victory, for
Are Gods is based on a very overused pentatonic blues progression, but it's the chorus that takes some risks that I really like.
We are gods. We are gods of the universe. Stand up, get on your feet.
Adrenaline is this optimistic 80s tune with very lush and creamy and Vice City-like chorus.
My adrenaline, burning like a fire.
One by One is the big track on the album for me. This is a textbook example of the 80s style and 80s music, and it's pretty much perfect. I absolutely love it.
One by one, soon they all will sing the song. Going down, one by one, we won't stop until we're
Nothing to Say is the ballad of the album, and it's a bit similar to the big song from their colleagues from Sweden, Europe, and their song Carrie, especially that all part. It's an okay song, but it's also the weakest moment on the album.
How could you leave me with nothing to say? Oh, oh.
Heaven Must Have Won an Angel is an AOR song, and a very good one at that, and I like those 80s drum fills that emphasize that atmosphere.
One day, somehow, when I look in your eyes, 'cause heaven must have won an angel one day.
Under the Gun is another hard rock song with a little less obvious and more artistic chorus, which I really dig.
Wait no more. Break your ties and run out the door. Live fast on the road when you're under the gun.
And the album ends with a typical H.E.A.T track called Rise, which is a very solid closing track.
It's time to. No one can make us hide away. We are the sun in the northern sky. No one can take our pride away.
I will be honest with you, and I said this also when I was doing the Into the Great Unknown review. When H.E.A.T released Tear Down the Walls, I was blown away by that album. It's freaking brilliant. Freaking brilliant. I'm kind of using that a lot. Anyway, I think that this album can be put next to the best albums released in the 80s, to all the classics. But I was kind of skeptical. I was like, okay, how long can they keep doing this? And I was pretty sure that one album later or two albums later, they would essentially run out of the ideas. And never have I been happier in my life to be proven wrong. At this point, I'm pretty sure they still have a lot of great music in themselves. They're phenomenal songwriters, and I think that they have still a couple of pretty damn good records ahead of them. You know, it's so hard because all these bands from the 80s that we love, they play this style on what, like 2-3 albums, and then the music industry changed, so did they evolved, you know, they adjusted. This is a luxury that H.E.A.T don't have. They cannot evolve, they cannot change. From the reaction of many of their fans about the Into the Great Unknown record, you can see how conservative and narrow-minded these fans can be. And it's just so hard to keep doing music in this genre where pretty much everything has been said and done. But H.E.A.T are beating all the odds, really. They're great. And if you like this style, there's no excuse for you not to check this band out. If you like great music in general, check these guys out. I love them. They're fantastic. Have you heard the new album already? You can let me know in the comment section below whether you agreed or disagreed with me. You can let me know how well do you think it compares to their previous stuff. maybe which is your favorite H.E.A.T album. You can follow me on Facebook or on Instagram. You can find links to both in the description of this video below. If you like this review, don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. You can check out my own original music, which is also heavily influenced by the 80s, my live performances, my worst to best series, and quite a lot of other reviews as well. Thanks a lot for watching.